What's up, Epic 7? TristenWulf here, and a little bit of an apology for you guys. I know you've been asking me for a Hall of Trials video for this week, and I've been really busy this week, and I just put it off and put it off. I went out of town, had all kinds of doctor's appointments for the family, nothing serious, mostly just checkups. New car drama. It's been a wild week, and I just really didn't have time to put this together. So I recorded some raw footage and planned on splicing it together a couple of days ago. And I go and look at my footage and hey, check it out. Here, I'm gonna play some up for you here. Check this out. You hear that? That's my cam being off and no audio being picked up. So it's basically unusable footage as far as putting it up raw. I'll go over this real quick and let you know how I got the score that I got. First things first, you need to have all Covenant heroes. 4P form with Covenant heroes. So I'm assuming 4P just means 4-person. Maybe, I don't know. But you can't use any ML units this time around, and a Ranger needs to be in the back. Makes Robin the most likely choice, although I think a higher score has been achieved now using, of all things, Kiris. So I love that yet again the community has found a way to defeat this without using the unit that Epic 7 is trying to sell us through Hall of Trials. So if you don't have Robin, use Kiris. If you don't have Aramentha, use Kiris in place of Robin and Robin in place of Aramentha. But Rowana and Carrot are kind of must-haves. This is how I built them. So Robin, just build her base speed. The only things you have to worry about is attack. That's it. Just stack attack. Attack out the wazoo. A tiny bit of bulk so she doesn't die to a sneeze. Don't run her at like 7,000 health. But other than that, attack's all that really matters. I put her on Dux Noctis. If you don't have Dux Noctis, just any artifact that boosts attack will help. The ones that jump to mind are Frantic Flight and the Hall of Trials artifact, Cruel Mischief. But Dux is by far and away her best on this one. She can't crit in the back, so there's no reason for crit. Next unit on the team was Aramentha. I put Aramentha, again, really high attack. She is one of the major burn appliers, and burns scale off of the target that places them's attack, so stack her attack as high as possible. You do want 100% crit, so you can get the stacks inside the break phase. And I ran her, middling speed. I think she was one of the fastest units on the team, maybe the second fastest. Got her on Cruel Mischief. For the boost to her attack, you want her on the #1 EE for an increased chance to burn on her S1s, just extra, right? And then Carrot. This was my first Carrot. You'll see her HP change a little bit. I did slow her down. I found she was too fast. She was cutting. It was causing some problems. Again, 100% crit chance. You want the crit to help her stack the burns. I put her on Frantic Flight. I think I slowed her down to 161, 162 speed. This is a speed tuning fight. If you want a super high score, you're going to have to try it. Nope, they're not in the right order. Change the speeds a little bit. Try it. Change the speeds a little bit. The reason I'm not redoing this, I'd planned to redo this video this weekend with free on equip. And then Smilegate rug pulled us and there's no free on equip and I'm simply out of gold. I'm down to about 12 million gold. I don't have enough to recycle the shop. Making all these guides, doing Ancient Inheritance, handling the Constellation guides, it just wiped it. I spent a little over 85 million gold in 2 weeks. So I've got to grind to get that gold back up so I can refresh the shop since Smilegate has decided to shorten the length of this Mystic rotation. And it looks like the next ML unit will be coming faster than ever. So I got to spin these Skystones. So I just don't have the gold to spend on this or on the other guides I was planning on making this weekend. So sorry about that, guys. Anyway, find the right Carrot speed for you. I think mine was 161 when I got the final score. Enough health to take a hit, and she needs the crit chance. So you need the crit in the break phase to stack the bonuses. I put her on the Frantic Flight artifact for more attack. And last is Rowana. All she needs is to be thick and have 100% crit, because again, you need the crit to get the stacks in the break phase. So 100% crit, then put the rest into HP and defense. She has got to be seriously thick. You run her lighter than this, she will not survive into the third break phase. You can put her on Touch of Rekos to help you survive into that third break phase, but you will have to fart around with the speed tuning even more. I put her on Touch of Rekos, I survived better, but without the CR pushing for more Horn, it totally messed up my rotation, and I just thickened her up, put her back on Warhorn, and ran her like this. I found it actually easier to manage than to try to figure out how to retune my whole damn team without the pushing of Warhorn. So have fun with that. And that's the whole team, guys. Now, at the start of the fight, you're going to get restricted. You want to use Rowanna's S3 right out of the gate to top everyone's healing off. At this point in time, everybody's going to S1. You can legitimately turn everyone's skills off except Rowanna and just press auto until you get to about this mark right here where she does the pink fart cloud at you, right? Where is it here? About right here. Farts a big pink cloud on your team, and that starts the phase. She gets the barrier. Now, to get rid of this barrier, you've got to use 2 attack-based strip skills. Araminta's S2 is a strip, Robin's S2 is a strip, and Carrot's S3 is a strip. So you can use any of those as your strips. So right here, we're going to use Araminta's S2 skill. You'll see this will take us from a number 2 down to a number 1. There we go. And Rowanna has nothing to do. Just go S1 here, pass through that. And then Carrot's S3 is also a strip. And that will get rid of the barrier, or that will get rid of the undispellable barrier. And now all you need to do is pop us into the break phase with a detonate skill. You can use Robin's S3, which will extend those burns to 3, 3, and 2, detonate them, and push us into the break phase. You can also use Carrot's S1. If she's high enough attack, she'll push you into the break phase. That's how you can use Kiris in the back row. So Robin's up, so I'll go ahead and use her S3, and that will push the break phase. As long as you're over 60 or below 60%, you're fine. There we go. Extends and power into the break phase. Now, every time you hit her or the crystal and crit, that's why you need crit on your 3 units, it'll add a number to Robin, boosting her power level up. Now, when you hit the crystal 3 times, the crystal goes into stealth. So you need to time it to make sure Carrot's always able to S1 the crystal, because you don't want to detonate the burns. You want to save the burns for the very, very last hit. So you've got to manage the crystal, making sure it goes into stealth and comes out of stealth when you're ready for it. So the way you can do that is by watching your CR bar. So as you can see with the CR bar, you can count and figure out who's going to go. If I have Araminta S1 into the crystal, that'll be 1. And then she'll CR push. Rowanna will be number 2. And then Carrot will take a turn. That'll be number 3. And because of Araminta's push, she will go before Robin. She'll be able to use her S3 to uncover the crystal. So you always want to look ahead. Now here's those attacks in action. So there's 1 hit. And you notice how much Araminta pushed down the CR bar. You got to account for the push. You have to do this several times to get used to the speed pushing. Rowanna hits. She shoots down the CR bar a little bit. And then Carrot hits number 3. See how Carrot shot down the CR bar? But now it's Araminta's turn. She can use her S3. That's an AoE attack. That'll get rid of the stealth. And you notice every single one of these hits is adding this number on top of Robin here. And this number is a multiplier. Now let's look at the CR bar again. So if Robin hits the crystal, that's 1. She will shoot down to about the halfway mark. Carrot will hit the crystal. That's 2. Carrot will do a serious CR push. Rowanna will hit the crystal. That'll be 3. And then Carrot will be ready to go a second time, and that's going to awaken her S3 skill so she can strip. So let's go ahead and run that series of attacks now. So there's 1 hit on the crystal. Robin doesn't CR push. 2 hits on the crystal. Carrot CR pushes. 3 hits on the crystal. Rowanna CR pushes. Carrot's turn again. She cut the Araminta. S3s. Strips. And now we're good again. Now we go back and look at the CR bar again, and we plan out our series attacks. So on this run, if Araminta S1s and then Rowanna S1s, that'll be 2 hits. And then Robin S1s, that'll be 3 hits. Crystal stealth. Carrot's turn. We're screwed. Carrot will detonate the burn. She'd have no one to hit because the crystal would be stealth. So that won't work. So if Araminta S1s the crystal, and then Rowanna S2 or S3s and heals, then Robin can S1 the crystal, And then Carrot can S1 the crystal into stealth, and then Aramintha will be going again, and she can use her S2 to remove the strip. So let's go through that series of attacks. This fight is all about speed tuning and knowing when you can attack. So there's one hit into the crystal. We S3 to heal up here. Aramintha's getting ready to go again. So we want to make sure we don't double hit the crystal. So we're going to throw one into Harsetti. Now we can throw one. Let me see here. Nope, you know what? That's one into the crystal. And we got one last hit from Carrot into the crystal. Pow. And now we're good. Aramintha can take everybody out of stealth with her S2. Carrot's S1 is going to have to go into the crystal. Rowanna's S1 can go into the crystal. Now you may want to use the S2 here, resist the urge. Those are 1-turn burns. We want 2-turn burns. So we S1, Carrot uses her S3 here. That gives us a stack of 2-turn burns. Aramintha uses her S3 here. This gives us a stack of 2-turn burns. There we go. And we S1 the crystal here. Now, when I was telling you earlier about my Carrot's speed being too fast, this is what I was talking about. I really wanted her to go ahead of Aramintha here. And it kind of messed up my tuning a little bit. So I don't quite get this the way I want. I really wanted Robin to be the last one to fire her shot off here and blow things up, and then Carrot to go, and that's why I needed to change the speed of my Carrot. I needed to slow my Carrot down just a little bit. It's fine, it's just the tuning was off for my next round, and I stopped the recording here a few minutes later and started a new one. So here it is, guys. Sorry this is so sloppy on all over the place, but this is right after the fight. My Carrot gets to go first, dropping the burn, another hit, and it's just like before. We just are doing only S1 attacks, except for Rowanna, who S3s the instant she's able to keep the heals flowing. And you stack the hits all the way down to 60%. Let's go down here. Once Harsetti gets to 60%, she'll fire her big pink fart cloud at you and push the phase. You got to use your 2 strip skills. We'll use the S2 here to strip. If you're running with Kiris in place of Aramintha, then you'd use Robin's S2 as your second strip and your Carrot's S1, or your Robin's S3 for detonation to push phase. If you're running Kiris in place of Robin, it runs just like normal. You just push phase with Carrot's S1. We're going to S2 here. Our timing was a little bit off, but doing the S3 allowed us to push cycle around and use the S3 to detonate the burns and push the phase. And there we go. Just like before, we plan it out through the CR bar. Now let's take a look at this for a minute. Aramintha's going to go, then she's going to CR push, but this Carrot's fast. So she's not going to push nearly as much as Carrot pushes. Rowanna's going to push, but not nearly as much as Carrot pushes. Carrot is going to push super fast. I think Carrot's going to lap. I think Carrot's going to lap before Aramintha squeezes a hit off. So we're going to pump one of these into Harsetti. Then Rowanna can hit the crystal one time. Carrot can hit the crystal one time. Carrot will lap and hit the crystal a third time. And then Aramintha will go and strip. Again, this is all about knowing how your units move in relation to the boss. And if they don't move right, tweaking the speed a little bit or making accommodations for your movements. And you guys will have to figure this out on your own based on your own speed tuning, unless you duplicate the speeds of people doing these fights. So there's one hit into Harsetti. Now there's the first hit. Here's the second hit. Watch how far Carrot pushes down the bar. Bam, I knew it. She cut. She cut. Third hit. Now it's stealth. Now Aramintha can take it out of the stealth. A lot of trial and error went into this to figure out the movement. Again, you check your CR bar. Carrot's S3 is available, so we can do 1 hit, 2 hit, Carrot hit, Carrot cut, Carrot S3s. That should work. So there is 1 hit, 2 hits. Carrot hits and laps. It's stealth. She laps, uses her own S3 to pull it out of stealth. Getting the swing of it. I wish it was easier. This is one of the easiest to do once you get your tuning down, and the hardest is in the setup process. The constant moving of gear, changing gears, tweaking things to make it perfect. And you can see why I really needed the free unequip to be able to do this again, to try to build the Kiris team, to show you guys how to do it for an even higher score. But unfortunately, we did not get it this time around. So let's see, there is 1 hit. And Carrot will cut the Rowana, and I don't think she'll cut the Aramentha, though. So this is 2 hits into the box. Oh, you know what, though? Yeah, 2 hits into the box, because we're going to use Rowana's S3 here for a non... Oh, she cut Rowana. So there's a hit. That's 3 hits. We'll take it out of stealth. We'll go ahead and Rowana S3 here to heal everybody up. The important thing to remember is to never use Robin's S2 unless you've got a full bank of 2 burns already up and you're just burning through a skill to get some points. You do not want 1-turn burns. You want all 2-turn burns, and that way you can extend them to 3 for the pop. That's why we S1 here instead of S2ing. We're going to S1 again. Now it's stealth. Carrot can drop her S2 or S3. This will be a whole bank of 3-turn burns. And Rowana can S1 into the crystal here. And this S3 will be a whole bank of 2-turn burns. Well, 1 more, because there's only room for 1 more debuff. But there you go. Perfection. Perfection. This is what I wanted the first phase to look like. Now we can go ahead and S3 here, and this will drop some serious damage. The S3 extends these to 3-turn burns and detonates them for massive damage, 31.3 million. Now this final phase, Harsetti is faster and hits harder, so you got to be really, really careful about your HP. Also remember, we hit that crystal once inside the break phase, so that crystal has got only 2 more hits until it stealths. It remembers from the prior phase, so we want to make sure we take care of that before we get into the break phase. So let's see. Let's get Harsetti down to 60% as fast as we can. 75. We got 1 turn away from the heal. There's 70. 65. Ouch. You can see why you really need super high health on your Rowana, or she could have taken a dirt nap there. Okay, we're at 60%, so let's go ahead and expose the crystal. We're going to heal up here first of all. And we're going to go ahead and reset the crystal here. So there's 1 hit. That takes the secret technique 2. We'll hit it again. Secret technique 3. Now it's stealth. And when we do our strip skills, it'll take it out of stealth. That way we can start the break phase, or be in the break phase with the full 3 hits possible on the crystal. I'm looking at the CR bar. I think we're okay. We're going to S3 here to strip. And we can S1 here. And we're going to S2 here. That's going to get rid of the last of the gold barriers. But Harsetti does her thing. She cleanses the burns. We need the burns. We need more than 1 burn to pop that shield. So we're going to S2 here to apply a bunch of burns. And normally we would S3 here, but surprisingly, Carrot's S1 is strong enough to pop the shields. We don't want to hit the box, or the box will lose 1 round off of the stealthing. So we pop the burns and go into the break phase. That's how you can do it without Robin. Carrot can pop the burns, push the break phase, and you can use Kiris. Once again, we check our CR bar. We math out who we want to go next to make sure Carrot is able to not detonate any burns on Harsetti. It's kind of smooth sailing from here as long as you don't mess up the rotation. You got 1 job, and that's to not mess it up. So there's one hit into two. Oh, sorry, we did one hit into Harsetti because again, Carrot's going to cut. There's 2 hits. There is 3 hits, but Carrot's S3 is ready, so she can S3 to pull us out of stealth. There we go. And we got 2 burns on the board. Check the CR bar again. Plan ahead. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. I think Aramentha will cut. I think she's fine. So there's 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit from Rowana. Oh, no. Carrot's going to cut my Aramentha. My Carrot's faster than my Aramentha, so we can't. If we hit the crystal, we'll put it in stealth and brick the run. So we got to hit Harsetti. See? Carrot cut. Pay attention to the CR. Now the crystal's in stealth. We'd S3. This will uncover the crystal. I'm calling it a crystal, whatever that thing is. I'm going to keep calling it a crystal. Okay, we check the CR rotation. 1, 2, 3. Carrot cuts. Carrot can use her S3. We should be fine here. We got plenty of open CR. So everybody can hit the crystal, and then Carrot can pull it out of stealth. Or Aramentha, if she cuts somehow, can pull it out of stealth. Okay, so there's 1 hit into the crystal. Carrot with hit number 2 into the crystal. She swoops down. She is going to cut, but that's fine because, see, her S3 is indeed ready. So we can S1 this hit into the crystal, putting it into stealth. And now we can S3 to stack up some burns. We check the CR bar. Aramentha S1s into Rowana S1 into Robin S1, and then Carrot's going to yeah, you know what? I'm pretty sure Aramentha is going to cut and can S2 at this point. Just to be safe, let's buy us some time. I'm going to pump 1 shot into Harsetti. We'll go ahead and heal. Not that we really need the heal. I'm just wanting to preserve the crystal as long as we can. Let's see, we're at 78. Check the CR bar. Carrot's got to hit the crystal. Aramentha's got to hit the crystal. So we're going to... Unfortunately, I got no choice. I got to S2. It puts a bunch of 1-turn burns on there, which feels like a total waste. Because 1-turn burns, this probably cost me about 2 million points, but it is what it is. I didn't really have any way to cycle around safely and not push phase out. So we S3, we detonate, we end at 46.5 million. At this point in time, this was like last week, this was a clean 2 million, or a clean 2nd place score, 46 million. I think I'm all the way down to level 50 now. People have found that using Kiris racks you up significantly more points than using Robin. Give that a try and see if it works out for yourself, but it should be a high enough score to get you into the top 100 very easily, even if you don't make it into the final phase. Even if you just get through phase 1 and phase 2 like this, it's still going to be a top 5% score and get you those maximum points. I wish I had the time and the gold to make you a better video, but hopefully this will get you guys through. Sorry it was late. I'll do better next time. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, Epic 7. Sorry for the scuff video. Take care.